Welcome back to the Gold IRA Blueprint podcast. Today we're doing a deep dive into Noble Gold. They're a company that's been kind of popping up a lot more recently in the retirement planning world, especially for those looking at gold and silver IRAs. Now, if you're thinking, hey, a gold IRA, maybe that's the right move for me. Well, we have something for you. Just go to goldirablueprint.com/exclusive, and we'll give you a free checklist that can help you pick the right gold IRA company. And it's specifically designed for American retirees like you.
Yeah, a lot of folks these days are looking for different ways to diversify their retirement portfolios.
Especially with all the economic uncertainty out there. And, precious metals
Yeah.
like gold and silver have this history
Yeah.
of holding their value,
Yeah.
even when the market kind of takes a dip.
Exactly. And that's where a company like Noble Gold comes in. They're really focused on helping you add that precious metal security to your retirement plan through these gold and silver IRAs. So before we get into all the specifics, can you kind of give us a quick rundown of what Noble Gold is all about? Yeah, so in a nutshell, Noble Gold is all about making gold and silver a part of your retirement savings strategy. They kind of handle the whole process of setting up a gold IRA, which
Right.
basically means they help you invest in actual physical gold and silver. And I think what's really interesting about them is their focus on personalized guidance. It's not just about selling you something. It's about making sure you really understand what you're investing in and why it makes sense for your specific situation.
Okay, so it's not just throwing money at gold
Yeah.
and hoping for the best. They're really taking the time to educate their clients, which is reassuring, especially for somebody new to the whole precious metals thing.
Absolutely. And speaking of reassurance, they have a ton of positive customer reviews, which is always a good sign. People consistently praise their transparency and the level of customer service that they provide. So it's clear that Noble Gold really prioritizes building trust.
With their clients. I like that. Trust is huge when you're talking about something as important as your retirement. So you mentioned gold and silver IRAs, but what kind of options do they actually offer? Is it just like gold bars and coins, or is there more to it?
Yeah, it's definitely more than just bars and coins, although those are certainly options. They offer a variety of investment-grade gold and silver products, from bullion to coins, even some historical coins, which is kind of cool. It gives you that tangible asset, something you can actually hold, which I think appeals to a lot of people.
Yeah, that makes sense. There's something about holding a piece of gold that feels a lot more concrete than just seeing numbers on a screen. But what really sets Noble Gold apart from other companies in this space?
That's a great question. I think it really comes down to a few key things. First, their specialized focus on precious metals. They're not trying to be everything to everyone. They've really honed their expertise in gold and silver, and they're really good at it.
Okay, so they're the specialists, the go-to experts for precious metals. What else?
Second, their commitment to transparency and customer service. In the world of finance, it's easy to get lost in all the jargon and the complicated processes. But Noble Gold goes above and beyond to make sure everything is clear and easy to understand. They provide detailed explanations, step-by-step instructions, and a whole library of educational resources. And, from what I've seen in the reviews, people really appreciate that personalized attention. It's not just a faceless corporation. They actually care about their clients.
Yeah, that personal touch can make a big difference, especially when you're dealing with something as important as your retirement savings. It's about feeling confident and secure in your choices.
Exactly. And finally, I think their range of investment options is a big plus. Of course, they offer the traditional gold IRA setups, but they also have buyback options, which give you liquidity if you need to access your funds quickly. And they provide different storage solutions to suit your individual needs and preferences, so you have that flexibility and control over your assets.
So it sounds like they've really thought about the whole picture, from education and guidance to the practicalities of storage and liquidity.
They really have, and I think that's what makes them so appealing to a lot of people, especially those who are approaching retirement and are looking for ways to protect their hard-earned savings.
All right, so we've got a good overview of what Noble Gold is all about, but let's talk about the potential benefits of actually investing with them. I think one of the biggest things that comes to mind for a lot of people, especially retirees, is diversification. Not putting all your eggs in one basket.
Absolutely. Diversification is, like you said, one of the cornerstones of, sound financial planning, especially when you're thinking about retirement. You want to spread your risk across different asset classes, and that's where precious metals can really play an important role.
It's funny. For years, I mostly thought about stocks and bonds when it came to investing. Precious metals just seemed kind of mysterious. almost like something out of a pirate movie. But as I've learned more about them, especially in the context of retirement planning, they're starting to make a lot more sense.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have that initial reaction. But you know gold and silver. They've been used as forms of currency and stores of value for centuries. They've weathered all sorts of economic storms, and that's a big part of their appeal. You know, when the stock market is going haywire and inflation is eating away at your purchasing power, precious metals tend to hold steady.
Or even increase in value. So they kind of offer a safety net, a hedge against those potential losses. I'm thinking about my parents. They're both retired and living on a fixed income. And I know they worry about inflation, especially with the cost of everything going up, healthcare and groceries. Would adding some precious metals to their portfolio make sense in that situation?
Yeah, it very well could. You see, historically, gold and silver have acted as a hedge against inflation. When the value of the dollar declines, the price of gold tends to rise, which helps preserve your purchasing power. It's like having a built-in insurance policy against those rising prices.
So if the cost of a loaf of bread goes up, the value of their gold or silver might go up too, kind of offsetting that increase.
Exactly. And that can provide a lot of peace of mind for retirees who are living on a fixed income and, are worried about making ends meet.
Okay, so we've got diversification and inflation protection. Those are two big pluses. But let's talk about returns for a second, Everybody wants their retirement savings to grow. What kind of potential do precious metals have in that regard?
Yeah, that's where things get interesting, you see. While precious metals can be more stable than stocks, they also have the potential for significant growth, especially during times of economic uncertainty. If you think back to the 2008 financial crisis, for example, while the stock market plummeted, gold soared in value. And more recently, with all the global tensions and inflationary pressures that we're seeing, gold and silver have performed quite well.
So it's not just about preserving wealth, it's also about the potential to actually grow your wealth and potentially even outpacing traditional investments in certain scenarios.
Precisely. And that's why a lot of investors are turning to precious metals as a way to balance their portfolios and position themselves for potential growth, even when the broader market is struggling. Now, of course, it's important to remember that no investment is without risk, and precious metals are no exception. But historically, they've shown resilience that makes them very appealing to a lot of people.
That's a really good point. There are always risks involved, no matter what you invest in. What are some of the risks associated with precious metals? And specifically, with investing through noble gold?
Well, one of the main risks with any investment, especially precious metals, is market volatility. Prices can fluctuate based on a variety of factors like global demand, supply chain issues, geopolitical events, you name it. It's a complex interplay of forces.
So it's not like a set it and forget it investment. You really need to stay informed and maybe even adjust your strategy as you go along.
Right, and that's one of the advantages of working with a company like Noble Gold. They have a team of experts who are constantly monitoring the market and can provide guidance and support to help you navigate those fluctuations. Remember those glowing customer reviews we talked about earlier? A lot of them highlighted the knowledge and expertise of the Noble Gold team. They felt like they were in good hands, even when the market got a little bumpy.
Yeah, that's reassuring. It's good to know that you have those experts on your side, especially when you're dealing with something as potentially volatile as precious metals. But what about other risks? I've heard stories about people getting scammed in the gold market, buying fake coins or bars. Is that something to be concerned about with Noble Gold?
Well, unfortunately, scams and fraud are a reality in any market where there's money to be made. But Noble Gold has a solid reputation for transparency and integrity. They only deal in investment-grade precious metals that are sourced from reputable suppliers, and they provide all the necessary documentation and certifications to ensure the authenticity of your investments.
That's good to know. They've built that trust through their transparency and their track record. Still, it's always important for anybody who's thinking about a gold IRA to do their due diligence, research different companies, read reviews, maybe even talk to a financial advisor to get a second opinion.
Absolutely. Knowledge is power, especially when it comes to your financial future. And speaking of knowledge, for those of you listening who are ready to start exploring gold IRAs, don't forget about that free checklist we mentioned earlier. It's available at goldirablueprint.com/exclusive. And it's packed with valuable tips and insights to help you choose the right company and avoid potential pitfalls.
Yeah, that's a great resource, especially for anybody who's feeling a little overwhelmed by all the information out there. It's a really good starting point.
Yeah.
So let's shift gears a bit and talk about the practical side of things. Let's say somebody's ready to take the plunge and invest with Noble Gold. What does that process actually look like? Is it complicated?
Not at all. Noble Gold has really streamlined the process. To make it as easy as possible, it all starts with our website. You simply click on Open an Account, and you're guided through a step-by-step online application.
So it sounds pretty straightforward, even for someone who isn't exactly a tech whiz.
Exactly. It's designed to be user-friendly. You'll provide some basic information, like your personal and financial details. Choose the type of precious metals you want to invest in, whether it's gold, silver, or a combination of both. And select your preferred funding method. Then you just submit the application and wait for approval, which is usually pretty quick.
Okay, so once you're approved, what's next?
Once you're approved, you simply fund your account, and you're ready to start building your precious metals portfolio. It's really that simple.
And I imagine Noble Gold provides support throughout the entire process. Like if you have questions or need help with anything.
Absolutely. They have a dedicated customer support team that's available to answer any questions and guide you through every step of the way. You know they understand that this can be a new and potentially intimidating experience for some people. So they're committed to making it as smooth and stress-free as possible.
That's a big deal. It's not just about the transaction. It's about building a relationship and feeling like you have someone in your corner.
You got it. And that commitment to customer service really shines through in their reviews. People consistently praise the knowledgeable staff, the prompt responses, and the overall sense of feeling valued and respected as a client.
It's great to hear that they're walking the walk, not just talking the talk. So we've covered a lot of ground here today. We talked about what Noble Gold is, their unique approach to precious metals investing, the potential benefits, the risks, the process of getting started. It's a lot to take in, but I think it really comes down to this. Is Noble Gold the right choice for you, the listener? What are your thoughts on that?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Right.
And honestly, there's no one-size-fits-all answer. It really depends on your individual circumstances. You know your financial goals, your risk tolerance. But I think if you're someone who is intrigued by the idea of diversifying your retirement portfolio
With precious metals, someone who values transparency, personalized guidance, and a company with a proven track record of customer satisfaction.
then Noble Gold is definitely worth a closer look.
It's all about finding those investments that align with your values and your vision for the future. And for some people, precious metals might just be that missing piece of the puzzle. But even if Noble Gold sounds like a good fit, it's still important to do your research right. Compare them to other companies. Read those reviews. Maybe even talk to a financial advisor. Get an outside perspective.
Couldn't agree more. Never rush into any investment decision, especially when it comes to your retirement savings. Take your time, gather information, and make an informed choice that you feel confident about. And speaking of gathering information, if you're feeling a little overwhelmed or just want a roadmap to help you navigate the world of gold IRAs, head over to goldirablueprint.com/exclusive and grab that free checklist we've been talking about. It can really simplify the decision-making process.
Yeah, that checklist is a great tool for any American retiree who's considering a gold IRA. It breaks down the key factors to consider, the questions to ask, the red flags to watch out for. So as we wrap up this deep dive into Noble Gold, I want to leave you with this. In today's economic climate, with all the uncertainties and challenges we're facing, diversifying with precious metals be a strategic move. For your long-term financial security, it's something to ponder, something to research, and ultimately, a decision that only you can make. But we hope this deep dive has given you the knowledge and insights to make that decision with confidence.
Exactly. Weigh the pros and cons, do your research, and see if it aligns with your overall retirement strategy. And hey, if you're ready to take that next step, don't forget about that free checklist at goldirablueprint.com/think-all.
It's a valuable tool that can really empower you to make informed decisions about your financial future. Thanks for joining us on this journey into the world of Noble Gold and precious metals investing. We hope you found it valuable and informative. Until next time, keep learning, keep exploring, and keep building that blueprint for a secure and fulfilling retirement.